going?
Hi, we're going. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Thanks for chatting with me today.
You're welcome.
You've been with HealthWorks a long time.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been coming?
About 3.5 years. I
Okay.
came October of 2021.
Do you remember why you originally came in to see us?
I sure do. That summer, August of 2021, I began experiencing horrible symptoms in my neck, horrible pain in my neck, pain that radiated from my neck, down my shoulder, down my left arm, pain that was intensified if I ever lifted my arms. I like to be in the driving position. The kind of pain that kind of ruins your life, you know. Driving across the street to the grocery store was agony. It affected every part of my life, from being able to just do basic tasks around the house, to my work, to my sleep. My sleep was horrible. I couldn't sleep. I went to a couple doctors, typical doctor stuff. Here's a steroid pack. Did you ice it? Yeah, I iced it. Steroid pack, didn't work at all. I went to an orthopedic surgeon, really good surgeon, had great reviews, but all he wanted to do was fuse my neck. And I didn't know what the solution was, but I knew that wasn't it. That would have pretty much given me a sentence of permanent head forward position and a permanently out of alignment atlas.
You can't undo a fusion.
And you can't undo that. So I already have a back fusion, and I didn't want a neck fusion for sure. So after dealing with all that, I finally took the advice of somebody I knew who was actually a patient here already. I had no other options and no hope, so I figured, this is my last hope. And I'm glad I did, because that making that call was the first step towards figuring out what was really going on and putting me on a path to getting straight.
Man, that's crazy. It's crazy that you could have had surgery. And I can't tell you how many patients come to us and they're saying, this is my last hope. This is the only thing I haven't tried.
I was out of options. I did, pretty much everything somebody could do, and I had no idea what was going on, and neither did anyone else.
So how is that pain now?
Oh, it's gone. It was amazing. I remember the day I came in for the first consultation. It was awful. Oh my gosh! Laying on the table, getting evaluated. It was like that was the absolute worst position I could ever be in. That was torture. But it had to be done, obviously. And that's one of the great things about HealthWorks is you guys are going to figure out what's going on, and so we had to do that first. But once we did that, we figured out what was going on. Dr. Taylor knew my atlas was very, very, very much out of alignment. We had to fix that first. And I remember when we did that, and I think I called you. And that later that day, I said, what did you guys do to me? Because it got worse. The pain got worse. And it was kind of scary, because I didn't need that. But, that was really just my body adjusting to, the first time in probably over a decade having an atlas that was where it was supposed to be. And the next day, I remember about 2:00 in the afternoon, the pain just it didn't go away, but it got better to the point where I wasn't suffering. For the first time in months, I wasn't suffering. So once it started to get better, it went pretty quick. And I remember Thanksgiving. I came in October, and then for Thanksgiving, I drove to Oklahoma City, and I was able to drive a 4-hour drive, in this position with very minimal arm pain.
I remember celebrating that with you.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I told Dr. Taylor, and that was a victory. That was huge. That was a huge victory. It was very, very minimal pain, and it eventually all completely subsided. And it didn't take that long. To be pretty much pain-free was maybe about 3 or 4 months.
Man, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, but it was, to the point where I am suffering and I want to die, to the point where I'm at least not suffering, was probably 48 hours after she reset my atlas.
That's incredible, Mike. That's an incredible story. And it doesn't always happen that quickly for some people. Some people have, very little symptoms after their first atlas adjustment, and some people have an experience like you where they're thinking, oh my gosh, like, is it worse now?
Yeah.
But we have to remember that the issues that we have didn't happen overnight, and
That's
they're
right.
not resolved overnight.
That's right.
But it sounds like 2 days, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, considering and looking back on it, knowing what I know now, I am positive my atlas was out of alignment for at least a decade.
Oh yeah.
At least. And it took, and I remember over the years, I've had neck pain, but it went away after a couple days, and I just figured this is how it is. Okay, sometimes you have neck pain. And it took over a decade for my body to say, okay, enough's enough. Now we're gonna make you suffer until you figure out that we need to be fixed.
Yeah, that's how most people come in. It's gotten to the point where they're like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Oh man. If you had someone who was hesitant about coming in, or maybe they were thinking about coming into HealthWorks, what would you tell them?
I'd say make the call. For sure, because you could have something going wrong that you don't know about. Like I said, I'm positive my atlas was out of alignment for over a decade. Just looking back on my life and the way I worked, constantly having my head down, looking at a desk, and you could have something wrong that you don't even know about. So I would say it's absolutely worth it. Come in, get checked out, and that can save you a lot of grief and a lot of suffering.
The sooner the better.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, well, thanks so much, Mike. We're so glad you're part of our family.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
We love having you in the office.
Well, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.